Hello, welcome to Never Seen It, a podcast about movies we haven't seen. I'm your host today, Betsy, and with me is Trent.
I am with you.
Today, we are doing our final movie of 2022.
Yeah.
We're squeaking this one in just under the wire because it only just got released this weekend.
On Netflix, anyway.
On Netflix. We are watching Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery.
Yes, we are.
So, Trent, we have been anticipating this sequel since they announced it because you and I are both big fans of Knives Out.
Big fans. Big fans. Yes, Rian Johnson's Knives Out is one of the best movies from that year. Without a doubt, I have no argument that I could present against that theory. We had such a good time. Did we see that in the theater?
We sure did. That was one of those where we just kept hearing everybody.
You gotta go see Knives Out.
Yeah, you gotta go see Knives Out. This is so good. You're gonna love it.
Yeah.
So we went, and they were correct.
And I'm not super into that kind of a movie, like murder mystery and
a
whodunit, because at that point I hadn't even seen Clue yet, so I didn't really know what to expect. But they had such a stacked cast, and they knocked it out of the park.
And there's just enough humor and just enough making you guess, wait, it's that person. No, it's this person.
But that's the thing.
Maybe it's that person.
And the big story here isn't who is the murderer, who is actually the person who is not pulling the strings, as it were, but who's the actual culprit of the bigger crime.
The bigger mystery.
Yeah.
There's multiple things happening in that one.
Yeah.
So this one obviously is a separate story, which is why it's just a Knives Out mystery.
Yeah.
But it is the same character. So what do you know about Glass Onion?
So as you said, it is a sequel starring one returning character, the main character, the Daniel Craig character. Benoit Blanc is his name, his character's name anyway, and he's this, southern fried chicken, foghorn, leghorn looking sounding motherfucker, I should say. And yeah, he is the best part of that movie because he is so over the top with his accent and his mannerisms and everything about him.
He's silly without being absurd.
He's over the top without going too far.
That is too far. Somehow he pulls it off.
Yeah.
So yes, he is in this movie. He returns, but we have a whole new cast of suspects, if you will.
Sure, and it's, again, a stacked cast. We got Edward Norton. Let's just go down the list here. We got Edward Norton. We got Batista.
Kate Hudson, Leslie Odom Jr., Catherine Hahn is in this.
That's right, Catherine Hahn is in this. Jeez.
I know there's more, but those are the ones that are immediately coming to mind.
Uh-huh. And yeah, I don't think it's not in the same vein as what it was before. I can't remember if you were there with me or not, but I think I just saw a trailer where the premise here isn't that there was a murder. This is a thing that you pay to go see, or it's maybe you think that you're good at solving mysteries and solving murders, so you get invited to this thing because I think Edward Norton is hosting this event.
That's the part I got, is he's invited people.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's that kind of a party or it's just a bunch of rich people getting together.
I feel like these guys are there to try to solve whatever this mystery is, and maybe they liken themselves a mystery solver. I don't know.
I have no idea.
But everybody knows Benoit Blanc because he's this guy who is, I think, did he write a book in the first one?
In the first one, they did a piece about him in a magazine.
Yeah,
and everybody's I read that thing.
I read that article about you.
In that place.
Yeah. So other than what I just said here, I'm not for sure about what is going on here, but I know it's a bunch of people who were invited to this thing. Edward Norton is the one hosting it, and then something happens that is either scripted, where somebody actually dies, I don't know who, but I think they're there to stage a murder mystery like you would go and pay for with your friends. You would go to this event in some house, and you have to try to solve this mystery. Much like an escape room, you have to figure out how to get out.
Right. The only thing I gleaned from this, I don't really understand from the trailer if that's what it is or if it's something else entirely. All I know is Benoit Blanc has once again been invited and no one knows why. So there's like a double mystery. Why is he here?
Yeah.
I guess we'll find out. So we're just going to go do that because I think you and I are both fairly in the black about what is going to be happening here.
Yeah, the mystery is the point.
That is the point.
Ryan Johnson is going to weave his yarn here.
That son of a bitch is at it again.
Yeah.
So we're going to go and watch Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery, and we'll be right back. And we're back. That was Glass Onion. Trent, thoughts?
Ryan Johnson, you magnificent bastard. You did it again. That was fantastic. I knew going in that there was going to be just a whole bunch of stuff thrown at us in that, everything will be revealed. There's no mystery at the end of this. All of your questions will be answered, so it's best to just let it wash over you, and you'll be satisfied at the end. And sure enough, that's what it was. So going in, I know his style, at the very least. We saw Knives Out we've seen it like 3 or 4 times, right?
Yeah, we've seen it more than once, certainly.
Yeah, so I kind of knew what we were going to get into before we even started here, but the fact that he's able to just take these people, and I really think that Ryan Johnson's thing is taking these kinds of people down a peg, because in the first movie, it was a bunch of fucking trust fund babies.
The wealthy,
yes,
yeah.
The wealthy and well-connected are his enemies, and he is taking them down one at a time.
Well, and this is a very specific group. These are all like people who are famous for being famous to some extent because they didn't really make it on their own.
Yeah, in their own way. Everybody there was helped by this billionaire who got to be a billionaire off of somebody else's idea.
Right. So thank God for the second and third acts of this movie, because I was not into this the first part. I was just like, these people are all terrible and stupid and nothing is happening and I'm not into this and I need something to start. And I just kept, like you said, I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
You had to let it keep going.
Because honest to God, I'm like, okay, we're going to have this murder weekend and they're all terrible and I hate everyone and they keep saying bullshit and I want to slap everybody. Please get to it. And then he just solves the mystery and then he says, but there is a real mystery. And there's this very quick escalation of events.
Yeah.
And then there's a turn that I didn't expect. And then all of a sudden, we're not watching a mystery. We're watching a fucking con movie.
Yep.
The con is on. It's a heist movie.
I know, yeah.
And I was like, wait, what the fuck am I watching? And then it's like, oh, by the way, we're not done yet.
Yeah, we got everything down to a fucking double. A twin. It's like a fucking soap opera or something.
Yes. Which some people may go, okay, really? But Janelle Monáe is so good in it. Yeah. I forgot she was in this movie.
Totally.
That you can just forgive the whole thing. And from the minute she shows up on screen and just decides, fuck it, and smashes a box with a hammer,
yeah.
It just kind of goes off from there. And I love it. So there is, like you said, a ton of people in this movie. Mm-hmm. Some of the ones that we didn't mention, like I said, Janelle Monáe.
Yeah.
I don't know the actress's name, but I was bothered the whole movie because I was like, why do I know her face? It's the actress. She was in Game of Thrones.
It's Kate Hudson's assistant.
Kate Hudson's assistant. She was on Game of Thrones, and she was also in The Matrix Resurrections we watched way at the beginning of this year. So it's kind of funny that she's in like one of the first and the last
yes.
movies that we watched this year. There's also just, for lack of a better word, fuckload of cameos.
Yeah.
Cameos and just like small bit parts. Not even necessarily cameos because they actually have like lines and a character. But Ethan Hawke showed up for one scene.
With a ponytail.
Hugh Grant showed up for one scene.
Yo-Yo Ma shows up for some reason at her party.
At the very beginning.
Yeah. And Benoit is in a bathtub during the beginnings of COVID playing Among Us with a group of 4 people that don't really belong together. 2
of them do, and sadly, ironically now for the same reason, but they actually had a connection before. So he is playing Among Us with Natasha Lyonne, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and 2 people who have now sadly since passed, Angela Lansbury and Stephen Sondheim.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate that this was probably their last thing they ever did, but the fact that they were able to get them at all says something about Rian Johnson being able to really pull in the talent.
Absolutely. And in case I didn't already say it, Hugh Grant? Did I say Hugh Grant?
You did. Hugh Grant is Benoit's butler.
I think he's a little more than that, Trent.
Oh, you think so, huh?
I think that's his live-in boyfriend, Trent. There's kind of a lot of conversation on the internet about how Benoit Blanc is canonically queer.
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't get that, but okay.
It's a new character development that has been like sort of on the internet the last few days. So yes, the implication is that there's a relationship there.
All right.
So there you go. Well, there's a lot more of him sort of being fashionable and floating about this movie, so I kind of get how they've taken the character a little more in that direction.
Sure, and even when you're thinking about the first movie, like, okay, all right, fine, I get it. I don't really know what else to say about that, but yeah, Hugh Grant, for some reason, is in this movie for one scene.
But this whole movie takes place May of 2020.
Yeah.
And so we get all of these reminders of the early days of COVID. And of course, they were filming this during COVID.
Of course.
I don't remember if it was quite this early, but it was certainly in 2020 where this was all starting production.
Yeah.
So it's weird every time now that we're starting to get these movies where they just call attention to it.
Yep.
And then they give an excuse and then they move on. So in this movie, Ethan Hawke has a gun that he shoots in everyone's mouth and he just says, "You're good."
You're good. We don't have to worry about our masks. No, you're good.
So I assume, as the audience, we're just supposed to believe because he's ultra rich, he had the COVID cure.
Yeah. Yep.
They had the vaccine 2 months in.
All the rich and powerful people had the cure before any of us fuckers.
And they just address it, and then we don't
brush
wear
it
masks
off. Yeah,
anymore.
Brush it off, and it's over with. Which is gonna be a weird, like, timestamp thing for this movie. All movies made in this era will live with all of this in there. When you're choosing to point it out, put it on screen, and then not address it again, it's gonna seem a little weird for future generations of filmgoers.
It's gonna be interesting how this survives the test of time.
Yeah.
Because
that
of
portion
that.
Anyway.
And there's just so many things like the people who have lived through this, will notice in a way that other people won't.
Yeah.
Like when Kate Hudson shows up wearing a lace mask.
Uh-huh.
And then some of the other ones don't have one on at all. And it's just...
Yeah, Duke does not have one at all.
No. And like she's so unfamiliar. Kate Hudson says, "What is that fabric?" "I think it's cotton." It's cotton. So, and just the way like the mask is like falling off of Catherine Hahn's face as she's
it's
talking.
under her nose. And
she's like holding things in her mouth over the mask. Yeah, so that of course... The beginning of the movie is, we're going to talk about COVID, and I immediately go, no, I don't want to talk about COVID anymore.
But that's the thing. All these caricatures of the people that were at the beginning of COVID and throughout COVID, they're the types of people who did not go along with what the recommendations were.
Yeah, so they set up that they're all in isolation.
Yep.
And they get this elaborate invitation, a puzzle box, to come to a private Greek island for a murder mystery party.
Which is exactly what I said.
Yes, it's by invitation. They're all friends. And this is the weirdest group of friends. I don't understand this group together. I figured these were all strangers because you've got the governor of Connecticut, a scientist, a singer, and a Twitch star.
Uh-huh.
And they're all friends with this billionaire who owns a media company of some kind, social media platform.
It's like an amalgamation of Apple and Google and Amazon and all of the big tech companies. It's all into one. Even down to the fact that Edward Norton kind of dresses exactly like Steve Jobs at one point, with the black shirt and the jeans.
Well, and then when he first shows up in like the flashback scene.
Yeah.
This was when they all met.
Yeah.
He looks like he looks like Johnny Depp in Chocolat. He's wearing like a leather vest and he has a weird half ponytail.
Yeah.
He looks like a jackass. And lo and behold, spoiler alert, he is a jackass.
All of them are terrible though. And they all go together to like keep this lie going for their own benefit. Like, none of them deserve any kind of fame and fortune whatsoever because none of them have actually contributed anything to society.
And the one person who kind of made it all possible, Andy, got boxed out of the company, and they all, because they're little pussies, and they are, as they say in the movie, suckling on the golden teat that is Miles's company, they all just lie under oath and say, oh, it was all him, and we don't know anything about her, and they just betray the entire friendship, even though they knew her before they knew him.
Yeah.
So this is who we're dealing with, and you can understand why I was incensed by them all at the beginning of the movie.
But Betsy, you remember the first movie. All of these people got their comeuppance. All of them were terrible in their own way, and this isn't a political thing whatsoever. In the first movie, there was a flaming liberal and a terrible conservative. All of these people have their own kind of backgrounds. Like, Duke is like the online right-wing troll who is like the man's man, who is like what they even call it, a men's rights activist. But the governor is also the governor of Connecticut, one of the most liberal states in the Union.
Very wealthy, too.
And very wealthy. And at the same time, she's also betraying her background by supporting this new fuel that is completely untested and whatever else. She approved the power plant, and she said while we were doing all these revelations that her constituency is going to completely abandon her because she approved this new thing that is untested and unsafe and whatever else. She's going to lose her entire political career because of it.
And then you have the scientist who, when they first met, was like a substitute teacher at a high school.
Yeah.
And now he works for this massive company that Miles founded. Yeah. And he's like the head scientist, the head guy, the research and development dude.
Yeah.
And then a singer who was a nobody who's now a big star. And she's got like clothing lines.
Model. She was a model.
Was she a model?
I think she was also
she was a singer.
Whatever. They all kind of do everything.
She's a dabbler.
But my point to what I was saying is, this is an equal opportunity offender. I think there's even some like fucking crypto shit in there. I didn't read the napkin all that closely, but there's references to like NFTs and crypto.
Well, the movie opens when we first meet Lionel, Leslie Odom Jr.'s character. He keeps talking about how he gets faxes from Miles all day, all night, and one of them is child equals NFT ?
Right, and like everybody's treating Miles as this like eccentric billionaire who like everything that comes out of his mouth is just a genius $1 billion idea, when he's just a fucking idiot who stole an idea from somebody else and made all his money.
All his best ideas are stolen. And he doesn't actually know anything. The whole movie, he is using words that aren't real words.
Right. To sound more important and deeper than what he actually is.
When we first see him, he is on his island playing the song Blackbird by the Beatles. And he makes a comment that he is playing a song written by Paul on the guitar he wrote it on.
Right.
But then he just chucks it into the sand.
Right.
Because he doesn't care. It's absolutely not important to him. He just did it because he could.
And he is like name dropping people like crazy. Like he says number one, he says Anderson Cooper's name, but he was actually just covering up what Duke was going to say. He was going to say Andy.
That was the other thing about this movie. Like, not even real cameos, just the name dropping.
Oh, yeah.
Jeremy Renner's small batch hot sauce.
Yep.
And Jared Leto's alcoholic kombucha.
Right. Yeah.
So there's just a lot of these, like, stupid celebrity archetype things where they want me to invest. Like, there's a lot of commentary in this movie about celebrity culture and billionaire culture and tech companies. You viscerally reacted the first time they used the word disruptors.
Disruptors. This is some fucking Elon Musk bullshit that he likes to throw out there because, we need to support all the people who are disrupting other businesses, like I'm trying to with Twitter and whatever the fuck else, and I'm going to support the people who are throwing bombs at the establishment, at the quote-unquote media, and whatever. Dude, you are full of shit. All of these people are full of shit if they think they are disruptors.
When he gives his whole speech about, well, this is why she's a disruptor, and this is why he's a disruptor, and we like to find the line, and we then cross it. And people say, you shouldn't mess with the good thing, but we do it anyway. And then we throw him the double bird.
But then at the same time, you have people like Birdie, who is getting in trouble for legitimate reasons. But a guy like Elon will just bring them back onto Twitter because it creates engagement. It doesn't matter what kind of engagement it is, as long as it is engagement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's also genuinely a stupid person. She's real bad. Like, they make a comment about how she was paying tribute to Beyonce, but what they mean is she did blackface.
Yeah. They don't actually say it. They don't actually say it.
They give you enough to know that's what she was doing. And when the whole thing about the sweatshops happens, her assistant is like, please tell me you didn't think that sweatshop means where they make the sweatpants. And she just was like, shrugs, like, I didn't know.
Right. People like this get rich and famous every single day. It is the influencers that you follow. It is the fucking Twitch celebrities that you give your money to. Stop doing that. Stop doing that.
Be really considerate about where you take money. We're not out here making a lot of money doing this podcast. I promise you, if we were making that kind of money,
you would know it.
You would know it.
By the podcast being just completely covered in advertisement and whatever else. We're not trying to equate ourselves to anything like that.
We just like talking about movies.
This is fun. None of the stuff that they are referring to on this particular movie is fun in any way. It's not entertaining. Like, Duke is this, like, the closest thing to what we're doing here is what Duke is doing, being a Twitch gaming star where he's hawking like fucking fake boner pills and whatever else is out there, which is a real thing. There's podcasts out there constantly, day to day, hawking boner pills on every single episode. It's really dumb.
Get them boner pills, ladies and gents.
But if you want to sponsor us...
We are not taking sponsorship from the boner pill people.
Okay, we'll aim a little higher.
But yeah, Ryan Johnson clearly has some commentary about the lifestyles of the rich and famous.
Yeah.
and how he feels about society as a whole. Let's just say.
Sure. And I am totally with him. We on this podcast, we're putting our foot down and saying we are with you, Rian Johnson.
Well, like I said, the whole first hour of this movie, I'm like, I don't like this. I don't like these people.
That's the point.
I don't understand what this is. Get to it, because I'm a smack somebody. There's no redeeming qualities here. I love these people, and they're being wasted by being terrible.
And even in the first movie, even the people that you think are good, like the younger girl who is
the teenager,
the teenage liberal. No, she's also terrible. Even though she might be on like a Rian Johnson side in most things, she's also terrible by her actions. Who cares what you actually say out loud? By your actions, you condemn yourself.
And sometimes you're just guilty by association, like her assistant, who is a nobody, but her resume reads her assistant, she did some retail, and then her assistant.
Yeah.
And if she goes down, I'm going down with her. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but
maybe
you also
shouldn't work for that horrible person.
You also kind of knew what you were getting into.
Yeah.
So these are the people that we've gathered together, and they all end up on this island, and Benoit Blanc also receives a box. Now we, the audience, assume he received an intact box.
Yes.
And was invited like everybody else.
Yes.
And we go through this whole first act where we're just sort of under the assumption of, oh, there's a mystery person who invited him to the island, and he doesn't know, and Miles doesn't know, and nobody knows.
And we also get this initial sequence of them all getting the box and trying to figure it out together. They're all on the phone together because they all know each other.
This elaborate puzzle box.
Yeah, which was really clever.
I loved that, number one, Duke lives with his mother.
Yes.
And she's just like, it's easy. Why are you all so stupid?
It's clearly this complicated word.
It's one of those seeing eye puzzles first.
Right.
And then they push a button, and then they have to do this puzzle, and then do that. And they're all on the phone with each other because they all know they got one.
Somehow there's an abacus in there.
There's like this puzzle and that puzzle, and they have to turn it, and it springs open, and there's an invitation inside.
Bop it.
There's music.
Pull it.
Genuinely.
There's probably that in there.
And then, of course, when Benoit explains he got the box, he's like, there was a series of children's puzzles. It took 4 people and someone's mother to solve these. And this is like a scientist who you would think would be really good at these things because he's smart.
Yes.
But it takes all 5 of them together to do it. And Benoit's just like, it was so simple. Now, what we don't know is that he actually
didn't have to do it.
He didn't have to do any of it.
Yeah, but he saw the pieces. He saw what was in there.
Yes. So they all get to the island. Everybody's terrible. We're going to have this murder mystery. And in the meantime, there's a lot of scenes where it's like, okay, we're getting pieces of their story and his story and her story.
But like when they got onto the island, you could tell by people's reactions who knows something. When they finally get to the island, everybody's coming off and they're hugging him and they're greeting him and blah blah blah. Benoit comes off and Miles is like, "Hey, you're Ben. What are you doing here? I mean, I'm glad you're here. Hey, welcome." And behind him comes Andy, which of course we don't know is not Andy. But yeah, Andy comes in and Miles says, it has the biggest reaction out of everybody. It's like, you are not supposed to be here, because he knows.
But it's also because at this point they've said she was kicked out of the company.
Yes.
But she was invited. He did send an invitation. Like, she got a box.
Yeah.
So we just assume his reaction is big because she is accepting the peace offering. We're going to put water under the bridge and we're all going to move on.
But of course, knowing what we know, this is a dead giveaway.
Yes.
Pun intended.
Yes, someone on this island knows the truth.
Yes.
And it isn't Daryl.
Right. Yeah. Daryl was this weirdest running joke.
He's just there.
What is the deal about Daryl?
I don't know.
I would really like to know that.
It's a guy who was down on his luck during the pandemic, so he came to live on this island, and he just shows up once in a while and makes a...
He shows up, smokes weed, is just hanging out,
and
just
that's it.
Mooching off of this billionaire.
He has no point. Like, he is the only thing that made him worth being there was at the end of the movie when we have the big explosion. He and Benoit are just like smoking on a beach for a sight gag. It's great. But yeah, so they're all on this island. We get a little backstory with why that person's here, what's going on with that person. They all clearly have some extra tension that we don't know about, but we don't know why.
Everybody's got a history. We're getting like side conversations over here. We're only getting half of a conversation here. You know that there's people talking behind each other's backs, but they're all there to have a good time.
And when we finally get to the dinner party where he's going to start
He's
the
introducing
murder mystery.
everything, and he says, okay, well, I'm going to die, but I'm still going to be around to talk to everybody. I'm not going to just completely fuck off.
It's going to be 3 days.
Yeah, I'm not going to completely fuck off and let you guys just do this by yourselves. I'm still going to be here. You just can't ask me questions.
Not about this anyway.
Right.
And Benoit just says, has it started?
Has it started?
She did it.
She did it because of this and that. You have this rigged up over here. And
she did it. It was Birdie. She did it with this weapon, and here's why.
Right.
And it takes 2 seconds to explain the entire thing. And when the scene ends with a fake arrow like springing out of Miles's chest.
Yeah. And Miles is just getting more and more pissed off as it keeps on going.
The joy washing away from his face, turning into disappointment, into anger, because he hired this really expensive writer to come up with this elaborate thing and scatter the island.
He keeps like saying, I pay this person to make the puzzle boxes. I pay this person to write this mystery. I pay this person to do this. He's not creative at all.
He's just a big dumbass.
Yeah, with a lot of money.
With a lot of money. So he calls Benoit out on it, like, dude, what the fuck? I spend so much money and time. This should have taken a lot of time.
Right.
And when I found out you were here, I thought this would be fun. This is not fun. What the fuck? So he just comes right out and tells him, I did it on purpose because somebody here wants to kill you. Why else would this be the case? Like, everybody here has something to gain from you dying. And he makes the statement, it's like turning off the lights in a room with a gun.
Right.
And just seeing what happens.
Right.
So now he's planted this idea that somebody's going to kill him. And the next scene is just everybody is drinking, and there is sort of a lot of chaos. Like they have introduced, he's got the Mona Lisa on loan from the Louvre because it's a pandemic.
The Louvre shut down. They're not making any money. It's the property of the state, and the state needs money. So guess what? He pays them to rent the Mona Lisa, and he paid more for the security to get it to his island than it was to actually rent the thing. And yeah, it's just there.
And this is one of those reasons where maybe it was necessary that you had to set this during the pandemic, because under no other reasonable circumstances could he have pulled this off. And if it wasn't that, what do you replace it with? But him being the jackass that he is, puts in like a fail-safe button where he can actually keep the security suppressed when he wants to. Because that's the kind of person he is. So you keep hearing this like whoosh, whoosh as the plastic goes up and down and up and down. And there's music and there's alerts on phones and everybody's talking and there's 3 conversations.
Right, and this is all for the effect of you being confused as the audience member, because we have a bunch of people drinking, we have a bunch of people just running into people, you're having conversations go across the room, and we have this conversation with Andy and the rest of the group. Andy says, I want to know the truth, and Duke gets up and says, you know what, I'll be the asshole. You lost. Everybody else here won. I don't know what you're doing here.
We're the winners. You're the loser.
Right. And Andy shoves him out of the way and fucks off. And then from there, we get more of them drinking. And then Kate Hudson starts dancing for some reason. And yeah, it's just a whole bunch of stuff happening at the same time. And I'm sure if we went back and watched this again, everything that they're describing is on screen. We just can't see it.
So I'm going to be real with you. I saw Miles hand him the drink.
Wow, really?
I saw it the first time.
Okay.
That was the first thing I noticed was, well, that's not his drink. So when he fell to the ground, I wasn't surprised. But what I didn't consider was that he actually did it on purpose.
Okay.
Like, he actually was trying to kill him. But I definitely saw him hand him the drink.
Well, and right from there, when he realizes, the fake realization, of course, when Miles's glass was the one that he drunk out of, he completely freaks out and like backs up and like puts Benoit in front of him.
Does
like,
his best acting.
Yes.
Again, we don't know it's acting at this point.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I just assumed that he did it because there's this chaos.
Yeah.
And it was a mistake. Like because he's looking straight ahead and he's just kind of putting his hand to the right.
Right.
And that's the sort of thing you absentmindedly do. Like, here, just take this out of my hand.
Yeah.
You're not even thinking about it. So I didn't really read into it, but I did see him do it. So Duke dies.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And then it just turns into about 5 minutes of real chaos because his gun goes missing, his phone goes missing.
Yeah.
Whiskey shows up with like a harpoon gun. The lights go out. What happens at 10 o'clock? There's a lot of running and darkness and screaming and chaos. And then Andy gets shot.
Yeah. All of this entire sequence just goes to 11 as soon as he goes down.
So this is where the movie actually is interesting to me. Because
because
I'm just
this
like,
is the big mystery.
what the fuck have I been watching? And then this happens. I was like, this is not what I expected. And then it's completely changing your expectations.
Yeah. The first half of the movie is all set up. It's all set, even setting up the flashback that we're gonna get when the biggest revelation is that Andy is already dead.
Right.
And the person who is there as Andy is her twin sister.
A twin?
What? Dun dun dun. Yeah.
But it turns out it's this whole elaborate ruse where she goes for help
Yeah.
to Benoit, and the two of them plotted this together to go to the island and figure out what happened to her sister for real.
And Benoit having all of this information in his head, trying to just extract as much information as he can from these people as he's meeting them and talking to them, and just going through the whole rigmarole.
And this is also where it turns into more of a heist movie or a con movie, whichever you want to call it. We're going to show you what was really going on here.
Yeah.
I
love it when that happens.
It's all right in front of you, but you aren't seeing the whole picture.
Yeah, you're not seeing everything. You're not seeing all of the conversations. You know they're happening, and you know you're eventually going to get it.
It's all fucking misdirection magician shit.
Like, oh, why was Andy stumbling there? Well, there's a reason.
Because she was drunk.
She was drunk. What were these two in the corner of the pool talking about? Well, the gal who is the governor says, I approved the energy thing. And the other guy says, yeah, I actually signed off on it, so this is going to actually go forward.
And they're all guilty and miserable, but because greed gets the better of them and desperation for money in whatever capacity, they would rather just shut up and take the money.
And I'll tell you what, Miles might be a fucking moron, but he's good at doing crime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he murdered somebody, but we don't know that.
Yeah, he murdered somebody. He has this entire scheme with this company and this energy thing.
He's gonna keep pushing it forward.
Yeah, he's gonna keep on pushing it forward, and he's got all of the chess pieces all aligned in order to help him and his company, and they just have to keep quiet about how he got there in the first place.
They're not his friends. They are all pawns. He will just use the people he needs to, how he needs to get what he wants, which is to be infamous.
Betsy, I want to say one thing here. We've mentioned this movie on this show before. It's a little movie called The Italian Job. that came out in the 2000s.
The remake.
The remake. I'm going to spoil a little bit of it here. Edward Norton is the bad guy. He betrays his friends.
This is the first 10 minutes.
Yeah,
guys.
he betrays his friends, shoots the mastermind of this big crime, because they're a big crime thing. But yeah, he betrays everybody. He steals all the money for himself instead of splitting it up between everybody. And he goes off and takes the ideas that everybody is going to do with their portion of the money and does it for himself.
So what you're telling me is he's playing the same character in this movie.
He's playing the same fucking character.
I hadn't thought about that at all.
He's a really smart criminal, but he's just a bad guy. He's just so fucking dumb.
I literally hadn't drawn that comparison until you just said that.
I
and
know.
You're right. The only creative idea he has in this movie is stolen from Benoit.
Yes.
From a conversation they have.
Yes.
And when Benoit has the final big reveal where he's explaining what happened, he says the truth that nobody wants to say, that no one will admit, is so much sadder. He's just an idiot.
Yes.
When he kills Duke, it's because he gives him pineapple juice. It's not poison.
It's just dumb.
It's not anything that's gonna just...
He's not a criminal mastermind.
No, it makes it look like a mistake. When it's revealed that he killed Andy, he basically gave her something to knock her out and put her in her car in the garage.
Yeah, that's not creative.
It's not. It's just a way to get rid of her.
There's no note. There's nothing.
Yeah, when he's trying to cover up everything at the end, he's got a napkin. He burns it.
Yeah.
Well, you did it. Bravo for you.
You also have a room full of people who saw you do it and would testify if he didn't have all of them under his thumb with his fortune and reputation and whatever else. Guess what is going to be destroyed?
Sometimes hubris is a really bad thing because it can immediately shift like that.
Yeah.
He thinks he has fully got them under his control, but then he doesn't. So yeah, we get this whole sequence where we find out these two have been playing him the whole time.
Yeah.
Andy, actually Helen, has been running around getting information.
Yep.
They're gonna solve this whole thing. The big MacGuffin in the movie is this red envelope with a napkin that Andy made with the actual idea proving that she founded this company.
Yep.
That everybody lied under oath and they're all going down and she's going to take them down. And when they confront him about all this, they find the envelope. She's not really dead. We think she's dead, but she's not dead. And it's just what is happening? And we think that person did it, but it wasn't them, and it wasn't her, and it wasn't him. They're all just there. And the only things that matter are that napkin and that Miles is an idiot.
Yeah.
But just when it looks like all is for naught, they have the big confrontation. He burns the napkin. Benoit cannot do anything to help her because he still is a law-abiding citizen whose main prerogative is to help the cops.
Correct. He is there to break it all down for them, to find the motive and find the opportunity to do it, just like the game of Clue, which they reference a whole lot
Which is
here.
a stupid game.
A stupid game for children. We should have been doing more of the Southern accent throughout the entire podcast. We apologize.
It's too late. Sorry.
It's too late for that. But he decides, okay, I can help you in this one way. I'm going to slip you this, which is what this whole scheme is all about. This one tiny particle of, what did he call it? Solid hydrogen fuel, which is made from seawater.
And
I guess.
They call it clean. And
yeah,
this
that's
is
the initiative.
This is why Andy left the company, because she wouldn't sign off on it. And she said, it hasn't been tested. It's not ready. You cannot push this forward.
Yeah.
And I refuse to keep participating.
Right.
So she left and then tried to take him down because she knows what he's planning.
Sure.
But she failed because everybody was against her.
Indeed. And I don't even know where he got this.
So at the beginning of the movie, he's got it in his hand. Miles has got this little crystal.
Yeah.
And I think he just hands it to him and he kept it.
I don't remember that, but
because
okay.
again, it's this kind of movie where so much is happening all the time and
Yeah,
there's a lot of
could
people
be.
talking that it's easy to be misdirected.
Oh, yeah.
We, the viewer, are easily distracted in this movie.
But yeah, he pulls that out, gives it to her, and he says, do what your sister would have done.
Yeah, all I can do is remind you, like give you a little courage, and gives her some alcohol and remind you why your sister got out of here in the first place. And then he leaves and leaves Helen to fucking wreck shop.
Well, at first it starts off, she's just like destroying his glass monument things.
He
I
has
don't really
this
know.
douchebag room with paintings of himself, and you pointed out a fucking painting of Kanye West. And it's full of a glass piano that belonged to Liberace ? And the Mona Lisa, and this weird bar, and a sunken like conversation pit, all red velvet.
Bring back the conversation pit, goddamn.
That's another conversation for another day. And all these glass sculptures. So she just starts shoving them and dropping them.
Kind of as a distraction, because eventually she gets to the center of the room where the bar is, where there's a bunch of alcohol, and guess what? She had already stolen his, like, fire starter thing.
Little butane torch thing.
Takes the torch, lights that on fire, creates a huge fire, throwing a whole bunch of stuff into it to make it even bigger and bigger.
She burns that fucker down.
And she throws the little piece of whatever into the fire, has that explode and go into the vents, and everything gets exploded.
Because, of course, everybody knows that this shit is just basically filling people's homes with hydrogen gas and turning them into an H-bomb.
Well, not an H-bomb,
but...
hydrogen.
H. It is... some variation of that.
Yes, it is a variation of that, yes.
It's not an atom bomb, but it is...
Hindenburg, if you will.
Yes, it is a big explosion waiting to happen.
And Catherine Hahn even said, like, the initiative to, like, put this in people's homes in the same, like, piping that we already have for natural gas, it's just going to leak out everywhere because it's hydrogen. It's lighter than anything else you have in those pipes. It's going to leak out.
But once again, his hubris has led him to run his entire household facility on this material. So when she lights a big fucking fire and throws the little crystal of this product into it, it creates a bigger explosion, and the entire compound goes up into flames. But what do we have in that room but the Mona Lisa and the jackass who built in a failsafe?
Yeah.
And she literally burns the Mona Lisa.
Yes, she does.
She lets it go. And she walks out of that building with everybody else, and she won. Because when he tries to tell her, you happy now? You had your big hissy fit, you know, what the fuck?
Yeah.
She points out, I've got all these people here, and no matter what happens, your whole compound blew up because of this.
You're the one who had the Mona Lisa here. You're the one who is going to be pushing this product.
You're the one who filled your house with it.
You're the one who, exactly. You implemented it into your entire compound, and this thing destroyed the Mona Lisa. Even though you had all of these safety measures in place, it still burned the fuck up.
Your fault.
Yeah.
You.
Yeah. Your name will be synonymous alongside with the Mona Lisa because you fucked it up.
Which is all he wanted. He said, I just want to be remembered in the same breath as the Mona Lisa.
Well, literally, you will be. Yeah. So, in the end, what she was trying to do is take down his reputation and company and the facade of him as this genius.
Because he technically, he murdered her sister.
Yes.
But there's no proof of it. He didn't create this company, but there's now no proof of it.
Exactly. How else do you take down this guy instead of murdering himself? Well, you're not going to do that.
She didn't technically break any laws except maybe arson. She definitely started a fire.
It's true. But yeah, that's how you take a guy like that down. You tear down his reputation, have his entire, like, a lot of people, these billionaires, they don't have like $1 billion plus in cash. It's stocks, it's bonds, it's all sorts of other bullshit that is meaningless. You can't go to a bank and take $1 billion out of the bank.
No.
That's the idea with this guy. All of it is tied up in the company. And if the company goes down or the stock tanks, guess what? You're no longer that rich. All of a sudden.
Well, I also just thought about in Mean Girls. This is a weird correlation, but bear with me.
Okay, I'm with you.
The way to take down, they want to take down Regina, the queen bee.
Yes.
And they say, how do you take down a dictator? You cut off her resources. And what are her resources? And one of them is the army of skanks. In this movie, all of those people who were defending him, that's his army of skanks. And they're often referred to as the shitheads.
Yep.
Like, more colloquially in this film, they are the shitheads.
Indeed.
And the second somebody actually stands up to Miles and, smashes his shit, they start smashing his shit.
Because the gravy train is now over.
Well,
they know.
Even before it's over, they just think it feels good. At first, they're like, let me in on the smashing because I want to smash something.
Well, and that was only a fleeting thing. But now that Janelle Monáe is out there saying, you're done, buddy. You're the one who destroyed the Mona Lisa. And at that point, they all know
they see the light.
The walls are coming down in this house of glass. Literally. So, guess what? They're all going to grow a pair and say, you know what? Yeah, you did murder Andy.
I saw this, and I saw that, and I seem to recall that this is what I saw.
They're all going to say the right thing to cover their ass. I don't know why they're doing it, other than the fact that they know that the gravy train is now over.
They have nothing left to keep them tied to him.
Sure.
So they're just like, well, I don't even know if I'd go so far as they grew a pair. It's more, well, this is over. I'm going to distance myself from you now.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. People are very quick to just distance themselves from their friends. Friends, I use in quotations.
Indeed.
When the shit hits the fan in these kinds of situations.
Yeah.
Well, I've never met that man before in my life.
I've always said that this whole hydrogen thing was a bad idea.
Did you, though?
Right.
Obviously, you look at my record. Right. I will stand by that statement.
Right.
Oh, so this is definitely an interesting movie.
It's layered, Betsy.
It is layered like an onion. Onions have layers. Ogres have layers. Let's just get that reference out of the way.
Yes.
Was it what I expected? No, but I didn't know what to expect with this one.
Yeah.
And with Ryan Johnson, it could be fucking anything some of the time.
And honestly, it is the same but completely different than the first movie. It's a bunch of people that are terrible, who need their comeuppance, and they get it by the end. How they get there involves somebody dying.
And we think that the murder is going to happen while we're there, but in reality, the murder has already happened, and we don't find out about it till much later.
One of them had already happened.
Yes.
Another one happened during it.
The murder that happens during the party is not the murder we expected.
Exactly.
Or how. The motive was...
Seriously, can you die from pineapple juice?
If you're allergic to it.
I don't know.
I guess that he did. He's a big fellow, that Bautista.
Indeed.
So do you have any other thoughts? Anything we haven't already touched on? We bounced around a little bit, but I think we covered the majority of the things we really wanted to talk about.
This movie is all over the place. It does bounce between present and past. And
it is a cacophony of noise and light and chaos.
Yes.
With the sole purpose of confusing you.
Yeah, and I cannot wait to watch this movie again to see all the things that they kind of don't want me to see right off the bat, because there is so much going on, especially in that scene where Batista drinks the drink.
Yes, and there's, like any good movie, everything on screen matters.
Yeah.
Everything they show you is
everything
important.
They say, everything they show you is important. These movies are constructed. They're not just shot.
No, this man knows what he's doing.
Yeah. And I really can't wait until he can do something else other than these movies. I love these movies, but I want to see more. Let this man do what he wants, because, God damn it, this is just excellent. Even his Star Wars movie is fantastic. I don't care what you say about it. It's really good.
I think we're going to have to spend some time exploring some of his other movies.
Yeah.
Like he did Looper, right?
He did.
And we haven't watched Looper.
No, it is on the list for a future series.
And one of his earlier movies is Brick, which I saw when I was in college. and you have not watched. And
No.
I would be really interested to see what you think about that, especially now that I've seen some of his other works that he has done since then.
Yeah. Because when it comes to, directors, it takes a while for you to really hit your stride. Some directors can do it on their first go around, and they never do another movie again that is anywhere near as good. With this guy, it seems like he's really been taking his time. He's getting the right scripts, and these 2 movies he wrote himself with some other producer helpers, but for the most part, he did all of it. These are his babies.
He mostly writes and directs. He does both in hand.
Yeah.
I don't think he does much of one without the other.
Sure. But my point here is, I feel like this guy can be one of... He could be another Taika Waititi, where he's getting some smaller projects off the ground. He is getting his foothold in Hollywood and getting the right people to notice him. And it took Netflix to really recognize how fucking genius the first Knives Out was and gave him a fuckload of money and say, go out and make like 5 of them. We don't care.
Please, take our money.
We have all this money.
We have so much money.
If all this money, we're going to give it to you to make a Knives Out sequel because that's what we want. But yeah, I totally see him maybe being another Taika Waititi.
All right, then.
But as far as anything else I wanted to say here, I love when Daniel Craig is in the bathtub playing Among Us with the 4 dignitaries there. They mention, you can play Quiplash. Quiplash is a fantastic game. I love all of these fucking references. It seems like Rian Johnson is just a big nerd like us. And Quiplash is one of those games from the Jackbox series of games. They're party games that you play with other people.
I also think he probably wrote this during the pandemic when he had nothing else to do. Or certainly it changed some elements of it.
I fully expect that the pandemic really changed this movie and maybe the reason why it took so long to come out.
Yeah, maybe.
The only other thing I was going to say is, you know what? I don't trust people who don't wear shoes.
Any particular reason for that?
Not really. But it just kind of disturbed me. When Miles is introduced and he's just like talking about his complex and everything else, and he's just barefoot the entire time. I don't think he wears shoes the entire time, does he?
That's a great question. I don't know.
I don't
know.
know.
He makes some comment about, I know you guys think I'm just this hippie or something.
Yeah.
So probably doesn't wear shoes very much if he wears them at all.
Uh-huh.
But I'd have to actually go look. Or he's wearing like weird like moccasin slipper things that aren't really appropriate for a man his age.
Yeah. But I will say Daniel Craig's outfits were spot on.
The small addition of a little like kerchief around his neck.
Right.
Just, he is in the Greek Isles enjoying himself.
Yes. I want to see Benoit Blanc on his holidays.
I think we may get the opportunity for more. I think the general buzz is people would just watch him do this 50 times. They don't care. Like, just let him play this role forever.
It's the new Bond.
They're like, nah, screw Bond. We're done with Bond.
No, this one's more fun. This is more fun.
This will be your iconic role that you're remembered for. Make more, please and thank you.
All right.
But with that, I think that's going to wrap up this one for Glass Onion. We do have an email from one of our recent ones. We covered The Graduate a few weeks ago.
Indeed.
And we got an email about it from our superfan, Stephanie. She says, this movie is a classic.
Damn right.
Mike Nichols is a great director. Dustin Hoffman and Anne Bancroft are fantastic. But I just don't love this movie.
What?
I don't hate it. It is funny, but I just don't really like any of the characters. Ben is at least relatable, and most of his bad choices can be written off as youthful stupidity. But Elaine and Mrs. Robinson straight up suck. All right. Coming in, at least, if not hot, lukewarm.
Semi.
And in that episode, we actually mentioned the movie Closer, so she has a comment on this one, too. Now, I do actually hate Closer.
Oh, God.
I am very surprised you guys like it. Every character is horrible.
Yes, there are like so many horrible characters in both Knives Out movies, and they get their comeuppance at the end. At least in these movies. Closer they don't, but yeah.
And in The Graduate they don't either.
Not really, because
they leave it open-ended.
They do, and you can take that in a few different ways. We already talked about what we thought happened to those characters as they left, but yeah.
Speaking of that, she continues, Trent, sorry to break it to you, but there is no way they are going to stay together.
I didn't say stay together forever and have a happy ending.
You said they'd end up together, that it wouldn't end poorly. She is firmly disagreeing with you.
Fine. I agree to disagree.
But she wraps up, because it is officially holiday movie season, I watched Christmas with You, which is a very cute Netflix rom-com, and Friendsgiving, which is more of a raunchy comedy.
Okay.
My daughter and I watched the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special, which is hilarious. Love you guys, Superfan Stephanie.
Well, by the fact that this episode is coming out after the holidays, you know by now that we did cover the Guardians holiday special. We had been planning on doing that one for a while, and yes, we gave it out as an extra bonus episode on Christmas Eve, as well as our actual Christmas Day episode, and yeah, that was just kind of a fun deal.
That's gonna be it for Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery. This is our final movie of 2022.
And you know what that means, guys?
That means our next episode after this is our awards special.
Our second annual Never Seen It Awards. Guys, we are doing it up this year. We're having extra categories. We're going to have more fun.
Last year, we just sort of decided to do it at the last minute and didn't put a whole lot of thought behind it.
Yeah.
So we're trying to put a little more behind it this time.
Go back and listen to that awards episode from last year. You'll see it. It was episode number 86, 87, 88.
Something in that
somewhere
ballpark.
around there. You'll find it. It was like January 2nd of 2022. We covered, I think, 6 different categories where we were just kind of going back over the rest of the year and just kind of looking back. This one, there's a lot more movies, and
We have a full year under our belt.
and I'll tell you what, guys, I am really looking forward to this one because there are so many more categories that we have come up with. They're a lot more fun, and they're not like the slapdash ones that we did last year. We are repeating the majority of the ones we did last year, but yeah, this one's going to be a lot more fun.
So we'll go into all the details about
Yep.
that in the next episode. We won't give you everything. We're not going to give it all away right now. We
Yep.
want you to tune in for that next one to hear our thoughts on the overall experience of movie watching that we had this year.
Yes.
But in the meantime, if you would like to be like Stephanie or any of our other contributors and send us an email, definitely do that. The email is neverseenitpod@gmail.com. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram. It's NeverSeenItPod1. We're also on Twitter, despite our shit posting.
By our better judgment.
At the beginning of this episode, we are on Twitter. It's NeverSeenIt_pod. You can also support the show, as I mentioned earlier in this episode, by clicking the link in the podcast description. We promise to use your funds for good and not evil. But with that,
Not an actual promise.
but with that, this has been a whole year of Never Seen It. And I have been your faithful host, Betsy.
And I'm also a host sometimes. I'm Trent.
And we will catch you next year.
Happy New Year!